Hello and welcome to an episode of Historically Marked. I am Jason, and this one's for all the blues fans out there as well as rock and roll historians. I am just outside the Little Zion Church, just outside Greenwood, Mississippi, and this is believed to be one of the three burial spots of blues legend and the grandfather of rock and roll, Robert Johnson. There is a historical marker here from the Mississippi Blues Trail, and I'll show you what may be his grave. So come with me. All right, so that over there is the church, and I'm going to come all the way across the fence and read the marker, and then after that look for his grave. All right, Robert Johnson, a seminal figure in the history of the Delta blues. Robert Johnson, who lived from 1911 to 1938, synthesized the music of Delta blues pioneers such as Son House with outside traditions. He in turn influenced artists such as Muddy Waters and Elmore James. Johnson's compositions, notable for their poetic qualities, include the standard Sweet Home Chicago and Dust My Broom. Johnson's mysterious life and early death continue to fascinate modern fans. He is thought to be buried in this graveyard. So some of his other songs include Crossroad Blues, Love in Vain Blues, and of course they influenced many artists like I said, Muddy Waters and others, but also the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, even Eric Clapton did a whole album of Johnson covers. So yes, he's definitely a big deal. He was also the first, one of the first early performers inducted into the inaugural class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1986. But Johnson was born in Hazelhurst, Mississippi, but by 1920 he was living near Robinsonville, just south of Memphis. In the late 1920s, he took up the guitar and was learning to play from Willie Brown, Charlie Patton, and Son House. By 1931, Johnson had returned to the Hazelhurst area and began studying with local bluesman Ike Zinnerman, an important influence on Johnson and his modern revolutionary style. From 1933 on, Johnson traveled around the Delta and to other parts of the country, including Memphis, Chicago, St. Louis, Detroit, New York, and even Canada. Johnson went from one juke joint to another, never settling in one place, although he did have a home in Helena, Arkansas, for a time. Late in 1938, John Hammond planned to present Johnson as part of the From Spirituals to Swing concert at Carnegie Hall, an appearance that would have undoubtedly made him an international star. Unfortunately, Johnson died before that event. He was allegedly poisoned at the juke behind the Three Forks store near the intersection of U.S. Highways 82 and 489 East by the angry husband of a woman he was seeing. Confusing accounts of different death and burial sites have arisen, but local sources have related that he died on Star of the West Plantation just south of this site on August 16th and was buried here the next day. There is also that story where, or the legend that Johnson sold his soul in exchange for remarkable guitar playing skills that would make him famous. And the story of this fateful meeting with the devil at a rural crossroads is an enduring blues theme. However, early blues songs are full of references to African-American folk magic and the devil. Johnson's lyrics no exception. His songs Hellhound on My Trail and Me and the Devil Blues help to perpetuate the legend. Robert Plant of the iconic English rock band Led Zeppelin visited the gravesite here on November 25th, 2009, and left a note on the headstone that said, "Traveling Riverside and the Lemon Song, 1965. Thanks, Robert." So yeah, really cool that Robert Plant was literally here. These are song lyrics. Now these are two verified photographs of Robert Johnson, and both of them he's smoking something. Well, or he's got a cigarette, or it looks like, you know, all that smoke, you know what I mean? And then I'm going to show you that in just a minute. And then here his death certificate, which shows his burial place only as Zion Church. Though two other sites, both in southwest Leflore County, which I'm standing in right now, long had been thought to be the last resting place of this iconic bluesman. But it was not until 2000 that Johnson's true burial ground was identified. The recollections of Rose Eskridge, who was an eyewitness to the event and whose husband Tom had dug the grave, provide details of the existing information. Both Mr. and Mrs. Eskridge are also buried in the cemetery. Alright, so we're going to go on a little hunt. It shouldn't be that hard to find, but unfortunately, as you can see, the cemetery has not been kept up well. Like, nobody has mowed it in quite a while. I don't even think it happened this year, but it's next to a tree. Okay, there's a Robert Jones. So let's go on a little hunt, shall we? And just like that, I found it. It's in the back, so it's a little bit behind the church, right over there, but this is believed to be the final resting place of the grandfather of rock and roll, Robert L. Johnson. I want to get up a little close, see what it says here. Obviously, a lot of fans have been here. I see beer cans and alcoholic seltzer cans right over there. Yeah, kind of weird, but coins, rocks, casino tokens. Yeah, another beer can and a flower plant. Oh, looks nice. Okay. I'm sure the note from Robert Plant's long disappeared, but okay. So Robert L. Johnson, musician and composer, he influenced millions beyond his time. And I can't really read all that, but I'm sure it looks like his handwritten lyrics. Jesus of Nazareth, King of Jerusalem, I know that my Redeemer liveth, and that he will call me from the grave. Handwritten by Robert Johnson, shortly before his death and preserved among family papers by his sister, Carrie H. Thompson. Okay, that answers my question. And I'm going to see what it says in the back. Oh, there's more. Lyrics from his song From 4 Until Late. When I leave this town, I'm on bid you fair. Farewell, and when I return again, you'll have a great long story to tell. This memorial marker is placed at the base of this old pecan tree, as was Robert Johnson himself, prior to his burial nearby, in accordance with the account of eyewitness Mrs. Rose Eskridge as told to historian Stephen C. Levere. And there's more stuff that was left behind. But yeah, really goes to show how much of a influence he had on other people. I'm wondering if this is like a sitting area. And then also, I'm kind of wondering about this. And there's a pack of empty pack of smokes in there. Now I don't know where the Eskridges are buried. I'm sure it's somewhere not too far from where I'm standing, but I'm not gonna try and look for them, unfortunately. One of the other places that he is known to be buried is nearby town of Quito, Mississippi, which is in this county as well. And unfortunately, I mean, even during the Great Depression, I mean, before the Civil Rights era and World War II, I mean, many African Americans, regardless of notoriety, they were buried in unmarked graves. Not all of them, but some of them were, you know what I mean? But, I mean, I've heard speculations like, well, maybe Robert Johnson didn't have enough money, nor did his family. Nobody wanted to mark where he was, or something because of vandalism concerns. I don't know. But this may be the most likely place that he is buried and laid to rest. But if this is it, then rest in peace, Mr. Robert L. Johnson, the grandfather of rock and roll. All right, I am Jason, just outside Greenwood, Mississippi, near the alleged burial place of Robert Johnson. Signing off.